The 1960 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel is more than just pocket change. It's a fascinating piece of American numismatic history, representing a time when the U.S. mint was evolving, expanding, and unknowingly creating collectibles that would one day become hidden treasures worth thousands of dollars. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary 5-cent coin, but if you own the right specimen in pristine condition, especially one that's uncirculated or contains a rare die variety, you might be holding a small fortune. Top quality. Examples of this coin can fetch up to $6,000 in the collector's market. But what makes this Jefferson nickel so desirable? Let's dive deep into its history, composition, errors, and market demand to understand how a coin once worth just 5 cents now demands the attention of investors and collectors alike. Jefferson nickel series began in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Designed by German-American artist Felix Schlag, the coin features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello, Jefferson's iconic Virginia home, on the reverse. Schlag's design was praised for its realism and historical accuracy, and despite minor tweaks in later years, it has remained largely the same since its inception. The 1960 Jefferson nickel was struck in Philadelphia, which at that time didn't use a mint mark. That's why the 1960 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel is specifically tied to the Philadelphia Mint. And that absence of a mint mark is a key identifier for this particular variety. What sets this coin apart isn't just its age or design, it's the unique convergence of factors like condition, rarity, striking quality, and collector demand. Most 1960 Jefferson nickels that were circulated show significant wear, scratches, or discoloration, which is typical for a coin that's been in people's pockets, jars, and drawers for decades. However, a handful of uncirculated high-grade examples have been preserved with exceptional care, retaining their full luster, sharp details, and flawless surfaces. These are the coins that attract serious interest at auctions and among numismatic circles. Coins graded MS66 or higher by PCGS or NGC, especially with full steps on the Monticello building, designation that means the steps are fully visible and struck clearly, can sell for thousands of dollars, the top specimens reaching values of $6,000 or more. Another factor that amplifies the value of the 1960 Jefferson nickel is the scarcity of full steps designations for this date and mint combination. Jefferson nickels are notoriously hard to strike with full details on Monticello, and Philadelphia issues were often softer in strike. That means coins with a full steps designation are rare, and rarity drives value, collectors pursuing complete Jefferson nickel sets are often willing to pay a premium for these elusive full steps coins to fill out their registry sets. Even more interesting is the existence of potential die varieties and errors in the 1960 Jefferson nickel series. Some examples show slight doubling on the lettering or numbers, known as doubled dies, which significantly increase collector interest. While not officially confirmed as a widespread variety for this year, error collectors constantly search for anomalies like off-center strikes, die clashes, and repunched mint marks on D or P examples from nearby years. Any confirmed major variety or mint error on a 1960 Jefferson nickel could skyrocket its value into 5-figure territory depending on rarity and eye appeal. The historical context of 1960 adds another layer of interest. In U.S. history, marked by Cold War tensions, the upcoming presidential election between Kennedy and Nixon, and the early stages of the space race. During this era, coins were minted in massive numbers, but also quickly put into circulation to support the fast-growing post-war economy. That heavy circulation means that surviving high-grade examples of the 1960 Jefferson nickel are extremely hard to find. As time passed, most were spent, lost, damaged, or melted down, reducing the population of collectible grade coins. Another factor driving value is grading certification. Coins that have been authenticated and graded by reputable third-party services, like PCGS Professional Coin Grading Service or NGC Numismatic Guarantee Company, carry more weight in the marketplace. A 1960 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel graded MS66 with full steps can easily command thousands of dollars at auction. especially when it appears with a population report showing how rare that grade is for this specific year. Registry set collectors, those competing to build the finest known sets of a specific coin series, will often bid aggressively for these top coins to complete their collections and gain prestige. It's also worth noting the aesthetic appeal of this coin: the brilliant luster, clean fields, and sharp devices on a gem-quality 1960 Jefferson nickel make it visually stunning. Unlike modern coins that are machine-made to perfection in enormous numbers, coins from this era show subtle differences in strike, die wear, and toning, which can make each one unique. Some examples even develop beautiful natural toning hues of gold, violet, or blue that increase their visual appeal and, in many cases, their market value. The role of online marketplaces and auctions cannot be understated. Platforms like eBay, heritage auctions, and great collections have brought rare Jefferson nickels to the forefront. Coins that once sat in private collections or dealer vaults are now visible to a global market. That exposure has driven prices higher for top-condition 1960 nickels, especially those with full steps or in certified holders. Record prices at public auctions have created buzz, encouraging more collectors to search their old coin jars and family collections in hopes of finding a hidden gem. Collectors and investors alike are drawn to the Jefferson nickel series because of its affordability, historical continuity, and long-term growth potential. Some coins, like silver dollars or gold eagles, require large initial investments. A coin like the 1960 Jefferson nickel gives collectors an accessible entry point. With the possibility of major upside, the rise of YouTube coin channels, TikTok treasure hunters, and numismatic influencers has only added fuel to the fire, creating a vibrant, engaged community eager to learn about and invest in rare coins like this. For those hoping to find a 1960 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel worth thousands, the key is condition, strike quality, and certification. If you find one with crisp details, uncirculated surfaces, and a clean appearance, it's worth sending to a grading service for evaluation. The cost of grading is small compared to the potential reward, especially if your coin comes back as a top population example. Even if it doesn't reach the $6,000 threshold, it could still be worth hundreds or thousands, depending on grade and demand. In conclusion, the 1960 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel is a quiet legend in the world of numismatics. It's a reminder that history isn't always locked away in museums. It can be hiding in your change jar, waiting to be discovered. With a potential value of up to $6,000, this humble nickel is a true American treasure. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a curious beginner, the thrill of the hunt for rare coins like this is unmatched. So dig through your old coins, check those nickels, and who knows, you might just hold a piece of history that's worth more than you ever imagined. Next up, the 1978 no-mint mark $1 coin. It's often overlooked in everyday circulation, holds significant value for collectors and enthusiasts due to its rarity, historical relevance, and potential hidden minting anomalies. Struck during a transitional phase in the U.S. mint's coinage history, this coin represents the end of an era specifically. It was the final year of the Eisenhower dollar series before being replaced in 1979 by the smaller Susan B. Anthony dollar. Unlike coins struck at the Denver D or San Francisco's mints, those without a mint mark were minted in Philadelphia, a location that traditionally omitted mint marks before the 1980s. Although millions of Eisenhower dollars were minted in 1978, only a limited number were released without any mint mark, making these specimens highly desirable among dedicated collectors, especially in pristine, uncirculated, or proof-like conditions. The Eisenhower dollar series itself has become more collectible over the years, partly because it was the last circulating U.S. dollar coin to feature such a large size and substantial weight, weighing 22.68 grams with a diameter of 38.1 millimeters. The obverse of the coin proudly showcases a left-facing portrait of President Dwight D. Eisenhower, designed by chief engraver Frank Gasbro. It includes the inscriptions "Liberty above, in God we trust" to the left of the portrait, and the date 1978 directly below. The reverse depicts an eagle landing on the moon clutching an olive branch, an homage to the Apollo 11 mission insignia. encircled by the words United States of America and $1 along. With 13 stars representing the original colonies, this design commemorates Eisenhower's presidency as well as the U.S. space program, blending historical patriotism with modern achievements. What makes the 1978 mint mark Eisenhower dollars so valuable, some selling for $5,000 or more, is not just its vintage appeal, but also its scarcity and flawless condition. Many of these coins were used in casinos, vending machines, or everyday transactions, leading to heavy wear and tear. Consequently, finding examples that are still in mint state MS-65 and above is incredibly rare. Coins graded by professional services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, with high-grade certifications, attract top-dollar prices at auctions and private sales. Furthermore, the absence of a mint mark piques the curiosity of collectors because it represents an increasingly rare feature in post-1960s U.S. coinage, making it a conversation piece and a prized addition to high-end collections. One notable factor driving up the value of these coins is the increasing demand from younger collectors discovering the world of numismatics through online platforms and digital marketplaces. This resurgence of interest has caused prices for vintage coins to spike, especially those associated with historic events or in Dove series. Mintages like the 1978 Eisenhower dollar, the nostalgia factor cannot be understated either. This coin brings back memories of America's industrial strength, space exploration, glory, Cold War patriotism, making it more than just a coin. It's a symbol of a bygone era. Another layer of intrigue comes from known varieties and potential mint errors. Some 1978 Eisenhower dollars are known to have misalignments, weak strikes, or die clashes, which, when authenticated, can raise the coin's value significantly. Collectors always keep an eye out for such unique errors, which are like hidden treasures waiting to be discovered in old change jars or inherited collections. A rare mint error, combined with a no-mint mark coin from 1978, can easily push the value far beyond the typical range, sometimes exceeding $5,000 or more depending on the market conditions and collector demand at the time of sale. In terms of market trends, auction results show a steady appreciation in value for premium examples of the 1978 no-mint mark $1. Several MS-67 or higher-grade coins have fetched thousands of dollars, and in select cases, even ungraded but visibly pristine examples have sold for similar amounts through private collectors. Online auction platforms like Heritage Auctions and eBay frequently list these coins with significant bidding activity, especially when the coin is accompanied by professional grading certificates and higher resolution images. This indicates strong collector demand and a stable investment potential for those lucky enough to possess such a coin. The cultural and historical context also boosts the prestige of the 1978 Eisenhower dollar. It marks a closing chapter on the era of large circulating dollar coins and pays tribute to one of America's most revered generals and presidents. Eisenhower was not only instrumental in the Allied victory during World War II, but his presidency also oversaw the early years of the Cold War, the launch of NASA, and the beginning of America's interstate highway system. His appearance on the coin gives it gravitas and significance beyond the monetary, especially when preserved in its original state. Each no-mint mark Eisenhower dollar tells a story of American resilience and forward momentum, adding depth to its appeal for both numismatists and casual collectors. So, if you come across a 1978 $1 coin with no mint mark, don't dismiss it as ordinary change. Carefully examine its condition, consider professional grading, research its variety to assess whether it could be a hidden gem. The modern coin market rewards knowledge, patience, and attention to detail. In the case of this coin, potentially, with a $5,000 payout or more, in an age where rare collectibles are being rediscovered and resold for astonishing prices, the 1978 no-mint mark Eisenhower dollar stands tall as one of the modern classics. Next up, the 1970 no-mint mark $quarter. It's one of those unassuming coins that can easily slip through your fingers in daily transactions. yet could be worth as much as $7,000 today if it possesses the right characteristics. At first glance, it looks like any other Washington quarter from the era, but the deeper you dig, the more numismatic treasure is revealed. Like this coin, part of the broader series of Washington quarters first introduced in 1932, it's grown in demand due to a mixture of rarity, minting errors, and collector interest that continues to surge. Although most 1970 quarters were minted in large numbers, the no-mint mark versions, especially those from the Philadelphia Mint with certain anomalies or proof errors, have caught the attention of serious collectors. What makes this particular coin so special? Firstly, understanding the context and background of the 1970 quarter is essential. This coin features the iconic profile of George Washington on the obverse, a design that has been in place since 1932, created by John Flanagan. The reverse shows an eagle with wings spread, clutching arrows above an olive branch, symbolizing a balance of strength and peace. Like other quarters of the time, it was struck in a clad composition consisting of a copper core with a nickel coating, giving it a silvery appearance. In 1973, primary mints Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco produced quarters. Coins from Denver bear a D mint mark. Those from San Francisco bear an S. And Philadelphia's coins generally had no mint mark, making them identifiable by their absence. However, some proof errors, experimental strikes, or rare circulation errors with no mint mark and unique features are what make specific 1970 quarters immensely valuable. Now let's explore the market value of $7,000 for these specific quarters. While most 1970 no-mint mark quarters in circulated condition may only be worth face value or slightly above, the true gems are those that either came from proof sets, display double dies, or exhibit unusual planchet or strike errors. For instance, one of the most famous and high-value examples of a 1970 quarter is a specimen struck on a 1941 Canadian quarter planchet. It's a highly unusual error that dramatically increased its value. Such coins have fetched up to $35,000 at auction, setting the bar for other rare 1970 errors. While the $7,000 valuation may not apply to all 1970 no-mint mark quarters, if your coin has minting anomalies, unusual metal composition, or near-perfect condition, then it could easily reach that mark on the collector's market. The grading of the coin also plays a huge role. Coins graded MS65 and above mint state by recognized agencies like PCGS or NGC are much more valuable than those with scratches or wear. In terms of design and craftsmanship, the 1970 no-mint mark quarter retains the standard detailing of the Washington quarter series. But what adds uniqueness to some variants is the proof-like finish or mirror-like surfaces that weren't intended for circulation. These proof errors could have accidentally escaped the U.S. Mint's control and entered the circulation stream, either through mishandling or transitional issues during the production of proof sets. That alone can make such coins extremely rare. Given that proof coins are not meant to be used for everyday transactions, additionally, if you find a 1970 quarter with doubling on the lettering or date, this could be a double die obverse DDO or reverse DDR, a known error that increases desirability. From a historical perspective, the 1970s marked a period of economic uncertainty and transition in U.S. coinage. Silver had already been removed from most circulating coins by the mid-1960s, and the mint was exploring different materials and cost-cutting methods. The 1970 quarter, therefore, stands as part of this experimental era where mistakes were more common, some of which turned into accidental treasures. There are also anecdotal reports of 1970 quarters being minted on planchettes intended for other denominations or foreign coins, adding to the confusion and mystery surrounding this specific year. Grading and condition are everything when it comes to value. If your 1970 no-mint mark quarter is in pristine condition with sharp details, uncirculated shine, and no visible blemishes, it's worth having it graded. A professional grade from PCGS Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC Numismatic Guarantee Corporation provides authentication and a numerical condition rating, which can significantly impact market value. For example, a 1970 no-mint mark quarter graded Ms. 67 or higher can demand thousands of dollars due to its rarity and high-grade condition. To spot a valuable 1970 quarter, collectors are advised to look for certain attributes, absence of any. Mint mark under the date indicating Philadelphia mint proof like mirror finishes or unusual shine evidence of striking errors, such as off-center strikes or die breaks, double die errors visible in the motto, date or liberty signs it may have been struck on a foreign planchette, such as weight discrepancies. Many sellers and coin dealers suggest comparing weights using a precise scale. Standard clad quarters should weigh about 5.67 grams, and any major deviation could indicate a planchette error. Coins that appear thinner, lighter, or have unique edges might be struck on the wrong stock. On the collector's market, these coins are highly sought after, especially when sold through reputable auction houses. Platforms like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers have featured such coins in their rare coin auctions, often achieving surprisingly high hammer prices. A well-preserved example with provenance and a known error can sell in the $5,000, $7,000 range or more, depending on demand at the time of auction. Social media, YouTube, and numismatic communities have also played a role in popularizing rare 1970 quarters, increasing interest and pushing prices upward. When it comes to storage and preservation, keeping such a coin in a protective holder, preferably an airtight capsule or slabbed case, helps retain value and prevents damage. Environmental factors like moisture, oils from your skin, and air pollutants can tarnish or degrade a coin over time, reducing its value. Therefore, any potential treasure should be handled minimally and stored safely. If you believe you have a valuable 1970 no mint mark quarter, it's worth getting it professionally evaluated. Avoid cleaning the coin, as that can scratch or dull the surface, something serious collectors want to avoid. Let experts authenticate and appraise it before you decide to sell. Certain subtle details such as edge reading, die marks, or metal content may not be obvious to the untrained eye, but can drastically affect value. In conclusion, while millions of 1970 quarters were minted and circulated across the U.S., only a select few, especially those with no mint mark, striking errors, planchette mistakes, or proof origins are worth thousands today. These anomalies, coupled with historical significance and collector demand, make the 1970 no mint mark quarter dollar a numismatic gem. If you come across